Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Miss Ming. On my channel, I do a variety of lifestyle videos. In today's video, I want to share with you how I fixed my glucose level from almost pre-diabetes to a super healthy level by using a continuous glucose monitor. So I started doing the continuous glucose monitor in 2021, late 2021. The reason why I started doing it is because my doctor blood work consistently showed that my glucose level was high. It was always 100, 110. And my doctor keeps telling me this is from different doctors, all kept saying that I needed to eat less carbs. If you don't know, your fasting glucose level, the healthy level is under 100. So just out of curiosity, I did a genetic test and it shows that I have a likelihood of type 2 diabetes. And so the type 2 diabetes actually runs in my family from my grandma to me. Because of a friend, she introduced me to NutriSense and Continuous Glucose Monitor, CGM. So I bought 3 months of tryout and I actually used 2.5 months, and this is actually the last bit of one that I just wanted to compare this year's data to 2 years ago. This is what I learned from wearing a continuous glucose monitor, and you don't actually have to use it for your life. Personally, after 2 months, I changed my diet, and in January I went back to my doctor and my fasting glucose for the first time was lower than 90. So I completely fixed my glucose level. These are the things that you need to avoid, and these are the things you need to add to your routine. First thing to avoid is rice. Specifically, white rice. And this is a little bit hard for me because I am Asian and rice is something that we eat starting from childhood. It's part of our culture. Every single day we eat rice. We don't eat pasta noodles all the time. We don't eat bread all the time. For Asians, it's rice and it's white rice. So rice is very high in the glycemic index. It's very fast absorbed in your bloodstream. We want to prevent a huge spike as much as we can, because huge spikes, it stimulates your insulin too much. Over time, it will cause insulin resistance. So when you start to have insulin resistance, it's when your blood glucose start to get high and higher and higher. When you start to go ahead to become like type 2 diabetic. White rice, it causes huge spikes of my glucose. Go from 100 to 200 within 15 minutes. So first of all, it's pure carbs. It's naked carbs. It doesn't have fat. It doesn't have fiber. Doesn't have protein. It's all sugar in the carbs. And it gets into your bloodstream really quickly because it's so easy to digest and absorb. So second of all, it loads a lot of carbs on its own. Some carbs, they're heavier, such as bread versus bagel. Bagels are way more dense than bread. So similarly, rice, it's very, very dense. It loads a lot of carb on its own. So because of these two reasons, it just spikes my glucose. Ever since I found out about this, I've been trying different ways of eating white rice because I love rice. It's part of my culture. I've been trying eating protein before rice. I've been trying eating fat before rice. However, no matter how hard you try, white rice always going to spike my glucose. Even if I eat rice with protein, fat, it still spikes my glucose like crazy. At the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna quit. So I quit rice 2 years. I mean, I still eat it from time to time. Maybe if I eat out with someone and it comes with a little side rice, I would eat 2 spoonfuls of rice. I never eat a fried rice as a meal. Occasionally I will eat it, but not a huge bowl. So if you absolutely have to eat rice, eat brown rice and wild rice. I would still not eat brown rice or wild rice every single day. I don't eat rice every single day anymore, but if I have cravings for rice, if I need extra carbs, I will go for brown rice and wild rice. The second thing to avoid is bagels. Bagels are bad. They're so bad. Why? Why is bagels so bad? They're way more dense than bread. Second of all, it's pure carbs, just like rice. I love bread. But what I noticed is that I've been eating bread with sugar in there, and it doesn't spike my glucose. But if I eat half of a bagel, bye-bye. That's absolutely crazy. So I've been eating the Trader Joe's brioche bread, which contains sugar. It's not a sugar-free bread. And I will eat it as breakfast. Sometimes I put avocado or almond butter on there. It's better. But sometimes when I'm like so busy, I just eat like a piece of bread. And it doesn't spike my glucose. It wouldn't go above 130. But bagels is like, oh my God, my glucose will go to 180, not even a full bagel. So if you're worried about your glucose, say bye-bye to bagels. If you really like cream cheese, I put my cream cheese onto my regular bread instead of bagels because bagels are very, very dense. So I actually read an article and I actually did it myself. I tested eating donuts versus bagels. Donuts are bad. This is not to say that you should eat donuts. Donuts have a ton of sugar, it's fried, it's really bad for, it's inflammatory, bad for your health. But between bagels and donuts, actually bagels spike my glucose even more than donuts. Even white bread is better than bagels. White bread is better than rice, white bread is better than bagels. And white bread is not even healthy on its own. So bagels, say bye-bye. Third thing to avoid is granola bars. So bad. Okay, so this is not to say that you can't eat protein bars. Granted that protein bars are processed food. Most of the protein bars out there on the market have inflammatory processed oil. They're bad. They're not clean ingredients. They're highly processed. But protein bar is not that bad, but granola bar is bad. Most of the protein bars are high in protein. Most of the protein bars, they're high in fat. Because you're eating protein and fat at the same time, you don't absorb the carbs immediately. It kind of slows down the absorption of the bars. And I actually have some recommendation bars, like this RX bars is really good. It has egg white, it has dates, it has sugar in there. It gives you carbs, it gives you protein, it gives you fat. But it's not bad. Like it doesn't spike my glucose. But granola bars, oh my God, like the Nature Valley granola bars, it's so bad because it's pure sugar. It's carbs. On top of that, it's sugar. On top of that, there's no protein. On top of that, there is no fat. Granola bars, no. I do not eat granola bars anymore. Most of them are loaded with sugar. Protein bars is okay if it's clean ingredients. I'm not saying if there's sugar, it's bad. It's just it needs to have fat and protein to slow down the absorption of the sugar. Number 4 to absorb is corn. Corn is so bad because it's GMO'd to have higher fructose in there. And the corn that's in America are GMO to have higher fructose to provide high fructose corn syrup. And I love eating corn, don't get me wrong. Every time we're doing barbecue, I would eat 2 or 3 corn and they spike my glucose like no other. So there's a break in that. I still eat corn, but what I do is I put corn into my soup, into other things, and I eat corn with protein and fat, right? And when I eat the corn with the protein and then the soup, it's just a little bit of corn and it has a nice sugary sweet texture from the corn. It tastes good. I still get gratification from eating the corn. It also has fiber. Yes, corn has fiber. So if you just a little bit, that's okay. But if you're just eating the street corn in like a cup and you're just eating the green corn, the street corn, it's gonna spike your glucose like a no. Okay, the next thing is certain fruit I try to eat less. Okay, so previously when I was talking to a friend, so she was like, no, natural sugar is good for you. It's not a synthetic added sugar. I'm like, okay, all sugar is natural sugar. Cane sugar is from natural source. High fructose corn syrup is from the corn. So all sugars technically are natural sugar. They're not like MSG that's created by this chemist, right? Sugar came from some sort of plants like cane sugar, corn sugar, maple sugar, like everything is like natural. But just because something is natural doesn't mean it's good. I mean, technically it's true. It's better to eat an apple than a donut because apple has vitamins, has fiber, has nutrients, versus donuts are completely junk food. There is absolutely no health reasons to eat a donut. But I want to say that certain fruit has high glycemic index than the others. So if you have certain digestive issues, fructose are really bad for your digestive issues. If you have IBS, if you have other problems, try not to eat fructose. So not all sugar are created the same. There's fructose, there's lactose, there is sucrose, there is glucose, right? It all converted to glucose and to be worked by your brain. So personally, some people cannot process lactose and some people cannot process fructose. Apparently after the pregnancy, I can no longer process fructose. And fructose it happened to be a naturally occurring sugar inside of fruit. Lower the intake of fructose. The good fruit that don't spike my insulin level, don't spike my glucose level is strawberries. Strawberries are not super sweet and it's very low in glycemic index. Any types of berries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, they're so good. They're high in fiber, high in antioxidants. They're so good. Mangoes, very high in sugar. Do not eat too much. A little bit is okay. After dinner, it's okay. Grapes, super high. So another thing in terms of the fruit, not only what type of fruit, how much fruit you eat, but also like how ripe the fruit is also plays a huge role. So let's, for example, bananas, green bananas versus yellow bananas with black dots. The green banana is not as sweet, but it also has less sugar. So I personally tested this out. There were times that I ate like a super green bananas. It was just towards a little soft edible. It's not as sweet, but it's really filling, and I didn't see any glucose spike even when I eat an empty stomach for breakfast compared to the banana that's yellow with black dots. And there is like a glucose spike over the yellow banana with the dots. So how ripe the fruit also matters. What type of apples also matters. Like there are also apples that are super sweet. The sweet apples usually has more sugar. I mean, it's intuitive, right? But so the number 5 food that I avoid as much as I can is juice. Okay, I'm gonna say this. The worst thing you can do for your body for health reasons is do a juice cleanse. There, I said it. And okay, so the reason why a lot of people see a result for juice cleanse is because yes, they were eating McDonald's and then they're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do a juice cleanse, and then they stop eating those junk food, highly processed food, and they start drinking juice and they're like, oh my gosh, I lost so much weight, I felt so much better. I'm like, okay, that's not because of the juice cleanse, it's because you stop eating those bad foods. Ask your doctor, it's not good for you for multiple reasons. And this is why. Don't hate on me, don't just go on me, don't like, oh my god, you don't know what you're saying. So juice cleanse is not for you for multiple reasons. First of all, it's pure sugar. So instead of drinking juice, I recommend you to drink shakes. Here's why. If you're just if you're just blending it, the fiber, it's still gonna be there. You need a fiber to slow down the absorption of the sugar. Juice cleanse is pure sugar and water, maybe with a little bit of vitamins, and that's it. So juice is highly processed. In juice cleanse, you're removing the fiber component, which is so good for your digestive health. So you're basically eliminating a very good part of eating fruit and vegetables. Use a blender, drink shakes, drink the fiber. It's good for you. The fibers is good for your digestive health. Second of all, juice cleanse has no protein. It has no fat. You need protein to help your muscle synthesis. You need your protein and fat. You need healthy fat to maintain healthy hormone levels, because your hormones are made with cholesterol. If you're not eating healthy fatty acid, you're not getting the cholesterol. You're slowly, you're gonna lose your period. You're gonna start to feel depressed. You're gonna lose a lot of things because your sex hormones, no matter if you're male or female, is made with cholesterol. So instead, if you really want to do a cleanse, do a shake cleanse. You put some avocado in there, you put some healthy almond butter in there, you can put some protein powder in there, and then you can drink, and then you put the fibers in there. So if you can put dates, you can eat healthy. You can do a cleanse, but not juice cleanse. You can do like a shake cleanse. Third thing bad about juice cleansing, it's gonna spike your glucose like no other. Every time I drink some sort of juice, it just like crazy amount of spikes. It's basically the worst thing you could do. It's even worse than rice, because at least for rice you have to digest it. Juice, it's water. It just goes directly, like you don't even need to digest it. Just I don't know why anyone would do a juice cleanse. It's bad. It's just bad. When I eat meals, if I'm eating dinner, maybe I drink a little bit of apple juice or a little bit orange juice, just to clear my palate. Try to avoid juice as much as I can because I know it's not good for my glucose level. You can create like healthy shakes with protein, with fat, but juice is like, do not recommend. So next, I want to talk about things to do to control your blood sugar. First thing is, when I was pregnant, the one thing that I wanted to avoid is gestational diabetes, and I successfully prevented it during my pregnancy. Or you don't have to do it when you're pregnant, you do it every single day. Is after every single meal, I try to go for a walk. And I've heard so many excuses. Okay, here's the thing. If you have time to eat breakfast, then you have time to go for a walk. Because if you wake early enough before your day to eat your breakfast, then you wake up enough to go for a walk. And it doesn't need to be long. 10 minutes. All you need is 10 minutes. After you eat, 10 minutes, go for a walk, bring some movement. I used to have 30-minute lunch break during the summer. A lot of people, a lot of times what I hear is like, oh, I only have 30-minute lunch. I don't have time to even eat a good meal. When I have time to walk or whatever. Okay, excuses. If you have time to eat, you have time to move. I would spend 5 minutes eating like a quick meal or 10 minutes eating a quick meal and take a 15-minute walk. All you need is 10 to 15-minute walk during your 30-minute lunch. And then after dinner, you may have longer time. You can walk for 30 minutes. You can walk around your house. I go to the bathroom again. I go to the bathroom back. If you have stairs at your workplace, go upstairs and downstairs. It helps me so much in terms of bringing down my glucose spikes. Second thing I did, was I changed the order of eating food. I eat protein, fat, vegetable, and what's the fourth one? Carbs. Provides a lot of nutrients. And lastly, if you really have to eat a little bit of rice, eat it at the very end. Slow down the absorption of carbs. Third thing is how you cook the food. The less processing you have the food, the harder it is to absorb the food. So instead of using a blender to make a shake, if you eat an apple, it's actually going to be better than eating the shake. So the less pre-processing, the better. But this doesn't mean that you need to eat everything raw. It's important to think about how you process the food, and also think about healthy alternatives, what you cook the food with, healthy oils. Also, I just want to say that on the days that I exercise in the morning, I feel like my glucose level control is a little bit smoother, a little bit better during the day. This doesn't mean that you have to work out every single day in the morning, every single day. Like if you don't have the time, that's okay. I personally exercise in the evenings, Monday through Friday, and then on Saturday, Sunday, I work out in the mornings. So I do notice that like if I work out in the morning, my entire day, like there's usually not like a huge spike unless I'm really bad with what I eat, versus if I don't work out the whole day and then work out in the evening, during the day, my fluctuations of my glucose level is a little bit more like fluctuated like this. So if you have the ability, I think you don't have to work out every single day in the morning. It's just in terms of glucose level control for during the day to make it a little smoother. I do notice the difference in terms of my own graph when I work out in the morning compared to when I work out in the evenings. If you don't have the time, work out at any time of the day will be helpful. Activities and exercise plays a huge role. That's very important to eat enough protein, but at the same time, eat enough healthy fat. Avocado oil and olive oil is really good for you. Red meat is not necessarily bad, but overconsumption of anything is bad. So maybe eat some chicken instead, or maybe eat some tofu. The next thing I did to control my glucose level is to think about my overall carb consumption. Just think about it. If you eat a lot of carbs, it's still gonna be absorbed. Even if it's slow absorption, it's still gonna absorb. It's one thing if you eat 30 grams of carbs with a meal, every single meal. So you eat 90 grams of carbs per day, right? Versus if you eat 50 grams of carbs per meal, that means you're eating 150 grams of carbs per day. So there's a big difference between eating 90 grams of carbs per day to 150 grams of carbs per day. It makes a difference in terms of your overall average glucose level. It makes a difference in terms of your overall A1C readings. So if you want to lower your A1C, just think about it. Like even if you avoid dessert, you avoid things that spikes your glucose a lot. You also want to avoid the overall amount of glucose that you take every single day. So you probably don't want to eat pizza every single day if it doesn't spike your glucose as much. It depends on individual to individual. But if you eat pizza every single day, it's gonna make your glucose really, really high compared to if you eat like mostly like protein and veggies every day, but then on Sunday you eat like a pizza meal. Lastly, I want to talk about dessert. So I think one thing that I've been really good at is, even before I started this journey of lower my glucose level, is that I was never big into dessert. I do not like dessert that much. So this is what I noticed. If you go to like an Asian restaurant, usually there's no dessert. There's no dessert to be served. Maybe they have like a boba tea, or maybe they have like a little ice cream dessert or whatever. And however, American restaurants or Italian restaurants, or I don't know, it's kind of like a Western culture almost. In Asian culture, we actually not super big on dessert. Maybe sometime from here and there we eat a little snack dessert. But anyways, when I first met my husband, he used to eat dessert every single day, and that's so bad. So this is what I learned from wearing Continuous Glucose Monitor. First of all, not all dessert are created equal. Some desserts are pure sugar. Some desserts are more high in fat. The high in fat ones, they're still not healthy, but they're not gonna spike your glucose as much. Second of all, if you eat dessert just on special occasions, it's not gonna be as bad as like eating dessert during like every single day basis. So I'm not telling you do not eat dessert, because personally, I actually, my glucose doesn't always spike after eating dessert, because first of all, you're eating dessert after a huge meal. Usually it slows down the absorption of the sugar. No dessert is healthy because there's no benefits to it. I usually try to eat fruit as dessert instead of like eating like a processed dessert. But you know, if it's your birthday, eat your cake. Like, I noticed that like certain desserts such as pie crust, like that has a lot of butter in there, it actually slows down the absorption of the pie compared to like a cake that has like pure sugar, low in fat. Just something to consider, like things to slow down the absorption of sugar is to avoid naked carbs. You don't always have to avoid dessert, but you probably shouldn't eat every single day, and what type of dessert also matters. So finally, I want to talk about is to learn about your own health patterns. So your health patterns changes from time to time depending on your stress level, your sleep level, your overall diet, your mood, your mental health plays a big role in terms of your health data. So personally, I do a lot of exercise. I also do yoga. I try to sleep as much as I can. So these things are also important, like your water intake. Like these things also play a big role in terms of your overall glucose monitor. And also, I just want to say that your glucose, your blood sugar is only one of the indicator. There's also cholesterol level. There's also like your heart health. There's also other health. It's very individualized. Everyone reacts to food differently. So if you're wondering like how you react to different food, I highly recommend trying NutriSense. Previously, I did do a collab video with them. It wasn't sponsored. They just sent me a sensor. I used it on my husband to help him to improve his health. But this video is not sponsored by them at all. They don't know I'm doing this video, but I genuinely really like their app. I really like their products. So if you want to try, I do have an affiliate link from the previous collaboration with them, but this video is not sponsored. This video is not collabed. Yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope this video is helpful to you. If you have any personal experience with CGM or with improving your health in terms of your blood sugar, definitely comment down below. And I am really, really passionate when it comes to health and fitness. I personally work as a yoga teacher and as a fitness instructor. So it's my passion, it's my job. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Check out my other videos in this channel, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!